following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and/or future. Good morning, afternoon, evening. My name is Ron Suckett. Welcome to the program for this 5th day of August 2025. We go back, I think, to September. Well, it's a Friday night in September. I believe it's the 5th. Maybe it's a little later than that. Anyway, and so, again, a Friday night, and we find ourselves in New York, not for that Dodger-Giant doubleheader that I could have been bribed to play if I told you about it, but for the Yankees and the Senators, or Nationals. The Yankees continue to look towards forward to the Detroit Tigers in their chase for the American League flag. The Tigers are in first, the Yankees are in second, with Chicago, Cleveland, and Boston all within 5 games. We've not really had much of any change at all as we head towards, I think today's the 7th, so the last 23 days of the season. Tomorrow, when we're with you at noon Eastern and 9 Pacific, it will be the White Sox and the Indians from Cleveland. The Yankees will go, well, we'll tell you their lineup in a moment. They just need to win these games. They have a couple of things that they're struggling. They struggle to beat teams that they should easily beat, which is why they haven't wrapped this thing up yet. And their bullpen can't hold the lead to save its life. If you were with us for the Yankees and the Red Sox the other day, you watched Sammy White beat with a homer in extra innings. So that's what the Yankees kind of have to do down the stretch is A, beat teams they should be beating, and B, hold leads they should be holding. They can do that. They probably have a date in Brooklyn in about a month. So with all that in mind, it is the Senator Nationals versus the Yankees next. How you doing, John? As Retro Sports Network presents Major League Replay 1956. Today, from the big old ballpark, trying to move my microphone over. From the big old ballpark in the Bronx, it is the New York Yankees and the Washington Senators. And today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find Dave and Vinny today at Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. So Johnny Cucks gets the call, 68 degrees on the September 7th. Good-sized crowd at the big old ballpark in the Bronx for a weekend set. The Yankees and Nats or Sens pretty much polar opposites in the standings. This is game 135 for New York, so 19 left. And for Washington, it is game 134. So they have 20 left after this. Washington comes in at 55 and 78, and Yankees come in at 76 and 58. Johnny Cucks gets the call for New York, making his 28th of 31 starts. Johnny just a baby at 23, a fastball pitcher at 85, and a ground ball pitcher. He is 16 and 9. That's third in the American League in wins. But his ERA is a very, very pedestrian 4.92, which is somehow 20th, but not very good. He last pitched against the Orioles 4 days ago in a 6-3 win. He got the win, 8 innings, 121 pitches, 7 hits, just gave up 1 run. He walked 3 and struck out 5. Overall, 201 in the third innings for Johnny, 216 hits, 124 runs, 110 of those earned. He's allowed 22 homers, and in 1949 fashion, he has walked 76 and struck out 70. For Washington, this is a lineup they'll throw out there. Eddie Yost leads off at third. Whitey Herzog and his shades will be in center, batting second. Can you imagine sharing the same position as Mickey Mantle? Anyway, Pete Runnels is at first. He'll go third. Roy Severs cleans up in left. He's had a very good year. Clint Courtney behind the plate will bat fifth. Jim Lemon in right will bat sixth. Herbie Plews, almost got my Kermit the Frog impression out there, at short, batting seventh. He was not there for picture day. Harmon Killebrew at second base, batting eighth, and Bob Shakalos on the mound, batting ninth. And yep, Chaka Khan is the between inning entertainment for you at Big Ol' Stadium today. Johnny Cucks can give you 125 pitches on the mound for New York. Defensively for the Yankees, Andy Carey a 5 at third, Gil McDougall to 7 and a 10 at short, Billy Martin a 6 and a 9 at second, the Moose Bill Skowron a 6 at first. It is Hank Bauer and left a 4 and a 5, Mickey Mantle an 8 and a 9 in center, and Enos Slaughter a 4 and a 3 in right. And defensively, outside of Mantle, those are liabilities out there in the corners. Yogi Berra, of course, is not a liability. He is a 10 and a 9. And Cucks is an 8 with a 914 fielding percentage. How you doing, Steve? Yost steps in at 239, 12 homers and 51 RBI. All that to tell you 68 degrees, calm winds, and a crowd that is about to become familiar with how their fingernails taste. And allow him to pitch on short rest. Uh-oh. So, how many pitches did he have? Are we going to make a change here? Yeah, you can't go on 60 pitches. All right. Who are we going to go with? What, today is the, 7th? So can't go Pasquale, can't go Chuck Stobbs. Can I go with Abernathy? We might go with Abernathy. Because Chocolis hadn't started yet. He's pitched on the 3rd and the 4th and didn't have enough rest for the computer. I hate playing the engine because he should be able to go, but he's not. And so that's that for that. I hate that. Yost at 239, 12 homers and 51 RBI. And if you're quite ready, let's do this. Pitch to Yost is a base hit right center field. Mantle will pick it up, and he's going to try for 2. He's going to run on Mantle. The throw to second. Eddie has his 23rd double of the year. How about that? For Whitey Herzog, hitting 238, a home run and 43 RBI. He did have 8 steals in real life, which really shouldn't surprise you, considering how much as a manager he emphasized trying to take an extra base. Pitch to Herzog. That's a fly ball to right center. Slaughter will make the catch, and Yost goes back to second. So 1 on, 1 out for Pete Runnels, who's had a very good year, hitting 311, 10 triples, and 68 RBI. Puck steals, and there's a base hit right field. Slaughter will not be able to grab it. Yost around third, thinks better of it, and will hold there. So first and third for Roy Sievers, who's hitting 234, 27 homers, and 98 RBI. With a runner on third with Yost, even a sac fly should give him his 99th RBI. The White Rat flies out. Apparently, Steve has been reading too many John le Carre novels, and so I will pass along this coded message to you, just for whoever may be listening in some safe house in Jersey City. Are you ready? Okay, here's the message. The White Rat flies out to the Country Mouse. Once again, if you didn't quite pay attention to that, the White Rat flies out to the Country Mouse. And somewhere Gary Templeton is not smiling. Pitch to Sievers. Runners on the corners. That's a base hit. Yost will score. So Washington goes up 1-0. Runnels into third as Carey should have made the play. So 1-0 start. And Cucks, again, not showing Cy Young stuff. Clint Courtney at 297 in what should be his last start of the year. 5 homers and 38 RBI. And remember, the phrase that pays today, the white rat flies out to the country mouse. You guys have Washington in the poll. Wow. Pitch to Courtney. Walked him. Cucks says shucks. Apparently, Steve found the pun maker today. That'd be a heck of an app, wouldn't it? Jim Lemon at 268. He's having an all-star year. 23 homers and 94 RBI. So bases loaded, 1 out. Courtney on first, Severs on second, Runnels on third. Lemon strikes out. So Cucks makes lemonade out of lemons on an 0-2 off-speed pitch chased. So 2 out for Herbie Plews. Herbie at 208, 7 triples and 23 RBI. That's a base hit right field. Reynolds is going to score. Severs, with no speed, will round third. Slaughter will throw home. And they got him! So Martin made the poor play, but Slaughter got it on a good hop and threw him out. So the Yankees catch a break. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for Washington. And after half an inning, it's the Senators 2, the Yankees coming up. So here is the debut for Ted Abernathy, and it may be his major league debut. He's 23. He'll make 5 starts now down the stretch because he gets an extra start. Fastball at 86 and a ground ball plus pitcher. 1-3 in real life with a 4.15 ERA. The rest of his numbers, he'll throw 30 in a third. He threw 30 in a third and 56. 35 hits, 2 homers. He walked in and struck out 18. Here's how the Yankees line up. Hank Bauer in left will lead it off. Enos Country Slaughter in right, who just made that great play to save a run, will bat second. Mickey Mantle at bat third. Is in center because Ron knows how to read. Yogi Berra cleans up behind the plate. Bill Skowron at first will bat fifth. Gil McDougall at short goes sixth. Billy Don't Call Me Alfred Martin at second will bat seventh. Andy Carey at third goes eighth. Cucks on the mound bats ninth. And Abernathy can give you 135 pitches. So he has an outside shot of going the distance. And he's been given a 2-run lead to start. Roy Severs a 5 and a 3 and left as we set Washington's defense for you. Whitey Herzog, the future's so bright for him, he's got to wear shades. A 6 and a 5 in center. Jim Lemon a 7 and an 8 in right. Eddie Yost a 7 at third. Herbie Plews a 4 and a 5 at short. Harmon Killebrew a 3 and a 2 at second. Not a great second baseman. Pete Reynolds is a 5 at first. Clint Courtney a 5 and a 4 behind the plate. And Abernathy, 5 with a 1,000 fielding percentage. How you doing, Mike in the truck? Bauer at 246, 20 home runs and 75 RBI. Abernathy starts his 56 with a base hit that gets past Lemon and all the way to that auxiliary scoreboard out there in right center. I have a feeling... No, that was there in the mid-50s. I was trying to say if they put that in for the Giants for football, because 56 would be the first year that the Giants played in the Bronx as opposed to across the river at the Polo Grounds. Slaughter, 8 for 29, 276 and 3 RBI. Runner on second. Slaughter hits this one to Plews. Herbie throws to first, and Slaughter is retired. Bauer stays put. Here is Mantle. Mickey on a Triple Crown run now. 341, 48 homers, and 119 RBI. Anyone want to argue the 30 Triple Crown again? Please don't. Pitch to Mantle. Struck him out. Oh, boy. If that was his first ever strikeout, imagine telling the grandkids that. You struck out Mickey Mantle the year he wins the Triple Crown. A full count, fastball in there, and there's 2 out for Yogi, hitting .296, Berra 27 homers, and 100 RBI. Abernathy deals. Berra into left field, and that's hit hard. Back goes Severs. Roy will turn and watch that one go. So Yogi makes him pay his 28th of the year, and it's tied at 2. Here it is again. You strike out Mickey Mantle, and then Yogi Berra goes through and smashes a home run deep in the bleachers in left center. How you doing, Scotty? Killebrew only had 5 starts at second in his long career. Yep. Just didn't seem to be well suited to play second base. He was a first baseman for most of his career, wasn't he? Bill Skowron at .289, 15 homers and 61 RBI. Abernathy deals. That's in the left field. Severs going back, and Roy to the fence makes the catch, and that will retire the side. Yogi Berra's 2-run shot on 2 hits and no errors, and after 1, it's 2-2. So speaking of Killebrew, hitting .270, 10 for 37. He has yet to hit a home run. He hit 5 in real life. So a busy first inning. Andrew, how are you, Andy? Killebrew into left center. That's where fly balls go to die, and Mickey Mantle makes sure of that. Makes a web jam. He slides and makes the catch. You wouldn't have known that Killebrew would have been a Hall of Famer in 56, and by 56, Mantle is making his case. Pretty evenly split, because, again, I can read. First base, third base, and the outfield. And Paul, we're all recovering here from our USL 2 championship against a squad from Seattle, as a matter of fact. Ted Abernathy, by the way, hit .182 in real life with an RBI, 2 for 11. Congrats to the green. Yeah, and Ballard, too. I don't know, Scotty, if you would see any of those games or not. Ballard, who was the champions of the Western Conference, come east, and they, I'd say it was dirty. They were a very physical team, and they drew a lot of yellow cards. Nerves, obviously, a big part of that, but they were physical. Pitch to Abernathy. There's a hard shot to Martin over to Skowron, and Ted is retired. Thank goodness you're not that, Andrew. Enjoying the smoke and haze in Heartland, Vermont. Oh, yeah, it's bad here. And the more southern you get, the worse. That'd be a great iced coffee in Minnesota. The Killer Brew. Yes, Todd, it would. How you doing, Sports Time Machine? So my mom was in town Saturday. Cuck's opening 9, 28 pitches, inning and 2/3, 4 hits, a walk and a strikeout. Eddie Yost doubled and scored his first time up, Andy, and I did not meet her by the parking garage, just so you know. And so we're sitting at one of the fine restaurants downtown, and you could hear the rally. There had to have been, I mean, they sold every seat out the entire year, so there were 2,600 people seated, and probably that many parked around the field. Yeah, Andrew Rothman is the one that lost his job. He asked me when I was streaming, and I said 10 minutes. That was 20 minutes ago. Ballard plays in the same field where Washington Western won their national championship. Yeah, they were a physical bunch. And the great thing is, the guy that scored the winning goal at the start of stoppage time was also the same guy that scored the winning goal when UVM won the national championship. Pitch to Yost, ball 4. So I'm watching the second half, and everyone just kind of buzzing. You're thinking you're about to get another half hour of soccer. Wade Herzog 0 for 1. And the kid that hit the corner for Vermont just put it on the wrong side of the box. He just boomed that thing. Again, you're excited, the adrenaline's flowing, and all of a sudden, the Vermont player chested it down, got it to Kissel, and Kissel was one-on-one with the goalie and scored. The goalie for Ballard, by the way, I was completely impressed with. He's got some MLS potential. Pitch to Herzog, up the middle. Martin only has a play at first, and Whitey is retired because that was 2 out. No runs, no hits, and no errors. After an inning and a half, 2-2. So, Scotty, did any of those kids from Western Washington play on that team? I thought of you once I realized it was Seattle. Gil McDougall, by the way, at 297, 4 homers, and 37 RBI. Struck him out. Abernathy got him. So, yeah, that kid from UVM will never have to pay for a steak or services rendered in this town ever again. Billy Martin at 254, 8 homers and 44 RBI. Yep, Vermont won the Shrine Maple Bowl at Vermont State University at Castleton. But you're the one that told me that most of New Hampshire's better players play another game. Line shot to Plews, 1 hopper, throws to Runnels, and Billy's retired. Doesn't mean that the Vermont kids didn't make hay out of it. Andy Carey at 252, 7 homers and 67 RBI. Good for Vermont. Big weekend up here. Carey strikes out, so Abernathy settles in after the Yogi homer. He got Carey to chase, and that'll do. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to third, 2-2. That, Andrew, how are you? So what type of work do you do? What do you do for work? And if anyone in the Louisville area is listening, maybe we can play some Job Connection, which is different from Chuck Woolery's Love Connection. Job Connection. Pete Runnels has a single and a run scored. Cook starts the third. That's a base hit over Martin and in front of Mantle. So Cook's not pitching all that well. Here's Seavers. Roy singled and drove home a run in the first. And they play the East-West New Hampshire game for Children's Hospital in Dartmouth. Yep. And you really can't play 2 games at this point because a lot of those kids are headed for wherever they're going to school. Just like when we did the Twin State field hockey game that 2 of my nieces played in. One of them is playing at Vermont State University of Castleton as a scholarship. Pitch to Seavers. There's a fly ball to left. Back goes Bauer. That is well hit. But Hank will track that down and make the catch. And Runnels and Seavers shake hands as Pete gets back to first. So 1 out for Clint Courtney, who walked his first time up. You worked at a gym, okay? So anyone who, does physical fitness stuff, and you may be from the Louisville area and looking to hire a dependable person, Mr. Rothman is who you're looking for. Pitch to Courtney. There's a ground ball right side between Martin and Scourin, and Slaughter's going to try for Runnels. The throw to third is going to be close, and they get him. He threw out another runner. Enos Slaughter has thrown out 2 runners trying to advance in the first 3 innings. I take back what I said about the Yankee outfield defense not being good. That's amazing. Runnels kind of dogged it. And again, Slaughter, who is 38 years old, threw an absolute strike to third. So 2 out for Lemon, who is 0 for 1. Cook struck him out the first time up. Andy's son played in the Shrine game. He played the quals and the marching. Oh, okay, and the marching band. They would play that sometimes at Dartmouth. And I wonder why they stopped playing at Dartmouth, and that would make sense if there's another game. Lemon. There's a fly ball, left field. Bauer moseys over, and that will retire the side. The National Senators threaten but do not score. No runs, 2 hits. Bond the third, 2-2. So Cooks, Bauer, and Slaughter to face Abernathy. Cooks at 134 and 9 RBI. It was an all-state selection. Drums, nice! And you made him practice at his Grammys, right? Pitch to Cooks. Struck him out. That's 4 for Abernathy. A 2-2 fastball just below the belt. Opening 9 for Abernathy in this emergency start. 35 pitches, 2 1/3. 2 hits, a home run, and he fanned 4. So far, Bauer doubled and scored on the Yogi homer in the first. Struck him out. That's 5 for Abernathy, feeling his oats. Bauer chased at 0-2, and here's Slaughter, whose defense has made all the difference. Enos 0 for 1, and he's thrown out 2 runners. The one he was in play at Dartmouth in 2014. Yep. That's cool. Fly ball, center field. Herzog will make the catch, and we're through 3. Yankees go in order. After 3, Washington 2, New York 2. Cool thing, Yankee Stadium. My dad actually got to play a high school all-star game there in 1953. That is cool. This picture would have been, as Sports Time Machine would tell you, after 67. I want to say about 70 based on the ads. They painted the seats blue, they painted the foul poles orange, and they topped off the, well, it isn't a facade. They painted it white following the 67 season. The Ballard goalkeeper coach, Ben Dragavon, played for Washington Western University. Their head coach, James Riley, was a hard-nosed. Yep, that doesn't surprise me a bit. He drew a yellow in that game. For the Sounders back in the day. How you doing, Aaron? Riley did a smart thing. There was a hip check in that game that I honestly might have even drawn a red in an EPL game. However, the refs knew that if they put one team down to 10 men, that you don't want to tilt it that way. And so Riley, who was chirping after another call anyway, drew the yellow. Blues, by the way, as we play the 4th, has an RBI single. Herbie right up the box. Cooks throws to Scourin for the out. So here's Harmon Killebrew 0 for 1. Never thought of Burlington being a soccer town. Hockey, obviously, and baseball and basketball at various times. But with the back-to-back now, NCAA Division I championship, and the other thing about this USL team, they ran the table. They did not lose a game all year. Pitch to Killebrew. Struck him out. Cooks got him on a 1-2. So here's Abernathy with nobody on. 2 out. 2-2 the score. In a tryout with the Yankees, Andrews says, that year and offered him a contract in Class D. Didn't like Oneata. Abernathy. High ground ball to short. McDougal's got it over to Scourin, and we're through 3.5. So a tight one here in New York on a Friday night. 64 degrees. Washington 2, Yankees 2. So here are the standings. In the National League, Mr. Locker was going, what the hell happened to everybody? Brooklyn happened to everybody. They're 92-41. The Braves would have a 5-game lead or 4.5-game lead in the American League. They trailed the Dodgers by 10.5, and everyone else has been eliminated in the National League. In the American League, Tigers at 77-56. Yankees trail by a game and a half. Then the Red Sox, Cinderfella at 3.5 back. Then the White Sox 4 back, Cleveland 5 back. Chicago, Cleveland, the game tomorrow at noon Eastern. Then Baltimore, Washington, and Kansas City waiting for Lenny Dawson. 2 games yesterday, or 2 games since we were with you for that last sim. It was the Tigers pounding Kansas City 20-3. Charlie Maxwell drove in 6. And then Washington beat Baltimore 6-3. So the Tigers, they, in their .284 batting average, to paraphrase Red Barber in the other booth here in New York, the Tigers really are in the catbird seat. Mantle, in case Bart Lowe is going to watch, now has all 3 parts of the Triple Crown. Harvey Keene, I think, is his closest competition. He'll win the home run race, and he's got a 10 RBI lead on Al Kaline. Speaking of which, Mickey struck out his first time up. ITU SK won the Turkish University League Championship, which I really enjoyed. I don't have my glasses on, which annoyed him. Football or baseball? Why didn't it annoy you? Inquiring minds want to know. Mantle rips this one to center, all the way to the wall. Whitey plays it off a hop, and Mickey's in the second with a 17th double. He is the go-ahead run. And that'll bring up Yogi, who homered his first time up. Now has hit 28 on the year and driven in 102. Football, okay? Into center, Herzog makes the catch, and Mantle is going to hold. So 1 out for the Moose. Bill 0 for 1. That's a fly ball left field. Back goes Severs. That's a line drive, and Severs will make the catch. Mantle goes back to tag and goes to third. As Severs' throw goes to short. So Mickey on third for Gil McDougald, who struck out his first time up. There's a line ground ball to Plews over to Runnels, and the Yankees threaten but do not score. Mickey Mantle is the first Yankee runner left on. No runs, a hit, no errors. We go to the 5th here in New York, 2-2. So Yost, Herzog, and Runnels, 3rd time through for Cooks. Johnny at 63 pitches, 4 innings, 6 hits, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Yost 1 for 1. Ground ball to third. Carey over to Skowron for the out. 1 away for Whitey Herzog, who is 0 for 2. Base hit left field. Bauer picks it up before it could get loose in the alley. And that's a 7th hit for Washington. So it brings up Pete Runnels, who has singled twice and scored once. Johnny and Berra have a word. That word is a strike. And Runnels punches it up the middle for a base hit. So Martin, little woozy from his Valentine, can't make the play, and Runnels has a 3-hit evening. So Herzog on second, Runnels on first, and Severs, who already has an RBI in this, could pick up his 100th of the year right here. Aaron rooting for Washington. Severs, slow bounder to first. Skowron, McDougald for 1, back to the Moose, and that's 2. So, excuse me, a 3-6-3 double play ends the inning. Washington threatens but does not score. Halfway home on a beautiful 74-degree hazy smoking day. It is 2-2. Join us late. Here's how we got here. 2 runs, 8 hits, no errors for Washington. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Yankees. Washington got 2 in the top of the first. Roy Seaver singled home Eddie Yost to make it 1-0. Then Herbie Plews singled home Pete Reynolds to make it 2-0. And in the bottom of the inning, Yogi Berra bombed one into left center field, his 28th of the year, to tie the ball game at 2. He has a 13-game hitting streak, and in the fourth, a Mickey Mantle double gives him a 14-game hitting streak. Pete Reynolds is 3 for 3 for Washington so far. Abernathy, in his first start of the year, maybe his first major league start, 4 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned, a home run. He struck out 5. Kux, 5 innings, 8 hits, 2 runs, both earned. He has walked 2 and struck out 2. There are, as Billy Martin steps in 0 for 1, some good, solid Yankee fans who watch every once in a while. And we always play fair if I'm playing the Yankees. I'm not trying to lose with them. But I'm amazed at the people who come in and intentionally root against them. The Red Sox fan in me finds that quite delicious. Pitch to Martin. Billy goes the other way. That will go all the way to the wall. Herzog in 460 or 457 territory out there. Fields it, and Martin's in the second with his 23rd double. Just the 4th hit for the Yankees. Carey, by the way, struck out his first time up. Nothing scarier than doing a stream and seeing your own damn picture pop up. Speaking of Yankee fans, how you doing, Bart? Pitch to Carey. Slap her down to third. Yost waits, throws. Reynolds makes the play. Martin goes to third. 1 out for Kux, who is 0 for 1. Johnny's going to swing here. Lace to Plews. Martin goes home. Herbie goes for the shore out at first, and the Yankees take a 3-2 lead. That was just too hard hit not to send Martin home, and the smart play is just get the shore out. So Abernathy, 18 batters deep, 60 pitches, 4 2/3. The home run to Yogi and 5 strikeouts. All 3 runs are earned. Bauer 1 for 2, a double and a run scored and a strikeout. I'm glad you're doing well. Bauer, right center. Herzog, running a long way, makes the catch. And that will do. The Yankees pull ahead on the RBI single by the RBI fielder's choice by Kux, whatever his name is. It's Johnny Kux because it's written right in front of me. Duh. After 5, 3-2 Yankees. So Courtney, Lemon, and Plews to face Kux here in the 6th. Clint 1 for 1 with a walk. Now he's 2 for 2. Is he going to get a double out of this? Mickey has to play it off that auxiliary scoreboard, and Clint has his 25th double of the year. So Washington again trying to not have a shutdown inning. Here's Jim Lemon. He struck out. He's 0 for 2. Todd B says went to a local library book sale yesterday. Those are always fun. Picked up a nice hardcover baseball encyclopedia for the huge sum of $1. Yeah, no one wants this stuff. What year was it published, Todd? How you doing, Jim? You will cheer for Washington, but the realists voted for New York. Yeah, I hear you. Pitch to Lemon. Struck him out. That's 3 for Kux. A 1-2 fastball chased, 1 out for Herbie Blues, who has an RBI single. He is 1 for 2. Up the box, Martin cuts it off behind the bag, over to first, Courtney to third, 2 out. For Harmon Killebrew, 0 for 2, has struck out. Senators have 9 hits. The Yankees have 4. And lead it 3-2. Early 90s. Oh, wow. Well, that is old now. Struck him out. Cux gets out of it. No runs, a hit. Washington is left on 6 after 5.5. Yankees 3, Washington 2. So Slaughter, Mantle, and Berra to face Abernathy here in the 6th. Enos is 0 for 2. Base hit left field. So Slaughter has had himself a day. He's going to get 2 out of it as that skip past Severs. And Slaughter has a first double as a member of the New York Yankees. Steve used to collect those baseball books. A lot of time studying baseball abstracts. My mom scored for me at a yard sale late last summer. And I'm not sure if it's safe because I have to touch things with my mouth, whether I'd want to do it. But a complete run of who's who in baseball from 68 to 80 or 81. The oldest ones didn't have the red cover. They were blue covered. And it's just, there's pictures and all that. And it's on that paper that you would find in comic books, so like a newsprint. But again, I'm not sure if it's safe for me to be handling it with my mouth. My dirty mouth. Oh, by the way, Mickey Mantle has doubled in this one and struck out. He's 1 for 2, Bart. Now hitting .341. That leads the American League. 48 homers, which leads the American League. And 119 RBI, which, say it with me, leads the American League. Slaughter on second, and Mantle draws the walk. So first and second. Abernathy still struck out Mickey to start the ballgame. Yogi Berra homered in the first. He's 1 for 2. Now it's driven in 102. They had a huge coffee table books for $1. Should have picked them up just for the baseball books. Some of those have tremendous photos. Absolutely. Courtney and Abernathy. Have a chat. There's a ground ball to Blues. What's Herbie going to do with it? Killebrew for 1. Berra's going to reach, but they get Mantle 1 out. For Bill Skowron, who's 0 for 2. I saw watching some British comedy stuff that Panini, which over in Europe is better known for their sticker collections. They own Donruss now, right? And I think Upper Deck. So they produce a lot of trading cards. Came out with an omnibus with all the pictures from all their World Cup albums for football or soccer. Like, oh, I'd love to have that. Pitch to Skowron. That's into right center field. Back goes Herzog, and that is off the wall. Slaughter will score. Berra around third will score. The Yankees go up 5-2. So Skowron's 14th double of the year gives the Yankees some cushion. Yeah, I got a whole bunch of old Red Sox yearbooks, Parallel League. Magazines and books. When I got the Sporting News as a kid, Gil McDougall, by the way, 0 for 2 with the strikeout. I saved them all. I think they're gone now. I threw them into a filing cabinet. I had about 4 or 5 years of Sporting News. He just didn't want to part with them. I don't think I ever went back and read any of them. McDougall, base hit right field. Skowron motors around third, but he'll hold. Lemon has a good arm. And the Yankees here in the 6th have solved Ted Abernathy. Billy Martin 1 for 2, a double and a run scored. Scotty still has his 69 McMillan baseball encyclopedia. Man, Mac 1. Yes. I think I remember reading that was in my elementary school library a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. If you go back through and watch some of the World Series games from the 50s, and there's a few of them out there, 6 and 7 from 52. 6 is the oldest complete game that's been preserved in video form. It was a kinescope. They advertise, if you buy enough Gillette razors, that you could get the baseball encyclopedia for $1. Yeah, they are collectible, Todd, those Sports Illustrated, especially the covers. And we're not talking about Cheryl Tiegs and Christy Brinkley. Because the Sports Illustrated really, beautiful color photos. Martin, hard ground ball to Killebrew. What's Harmon going to do? Scouring comes home, Plews for 1, and Killebrew, and the throw to first is not in time. Killebrew just doesn't really know how to pivot all that much. 6-2 New York. So after the game, some guy by the name of Ross, who lives in Manhattan, will teach Harmon Killebrew how to pivot. Yeah. Killebrew will be too busy looking at Ross's girlfriend Rachel to pay much attention. And he carries 0 for 2 with a K. So the Yankees up comfortably 6-2 here with 2 out in the 6th. That is a hard ground ball to short. Plews goes to Killebrew, and he will get the force there. After 6, Yankees get 3. Pivot, 3 hits and no errors. We go to the 7th here in the Bronx. Yankees 6, Washington 2. That's true, Ty. And without those magazines, Strat, APA, they became things that we looked forward to because we would read the ads. Absolutely. Your Scotties came packaged with The Glory of Their Times. Another classic. It is. Steve's love of baseball history started with a book about all the World Series outcomes. Let's see what they do with Abernathy before I plunge into another story. Ted is 0 for 2. Stays in the game. Punches this one into right field. So not only in your first start, Ted, do you strike out Mickey Mantle, but you get your first base hit at Yankee Stadium. And Billy Martin must be hungover. That's his third poor play of the game. So cuts 27 batters deep, 91 pitches for Johnny, 6+ innings, 10 hits. He has walked 2 and struck out 4. Yost 1 for 2, a double, a run scored, and a walk. So for what Christmas would it have been? They rushed it out for 78 or 79? I think it was Christmas 79. I got a book called The World Series. It was one of those large soft cover books. And my 8-year-old self, you just couldn't do anything better. It had the play-by-play for every World Series game from 1903 to 1978. And so just reading, I remember Billy Martin made the last out in 53. Line drive to Martin, and in bold print, the Yankees have won their 5th in 4 years or whatever it was. But yes, just to read about that and the early years and, yeah, absolutely. Just, you get stuff in the right hands and you become a fan for life. Absolutely. Todd B. said most kids in his block were learning other things due to certain mags. Well, that too. Why not both? Abernathy going to get thrown out here. McDougal to Martin for 1. Billy Ken pivot, throws to Skowron, and that's a double play. And that's where most people, Todd, learned all about Sidney Sweeney. Whitey Herzog is 1 for 3. He has a single. Mad Klingon Ships Illustrated, yep. I could never get those fold-ins to work. Probably because I couldn't physically do it. Whitey swings, that's in the right. Slaughter, moving over, makes the catch. Stretch time, 6-2 New York. Am I going to back Cucks here? It will back Cucks here with the 7th and a 4-run lead. So Scotty innocently asks if it's Mad Magazine. And Steve responds with he loves Spy versus Spy. I always loved the TV knockoffs. Those were pretty funny. And then Todd, going back to the magazines that he was talking about, learned that you could send quote-unquote stories to certain magazines. I have no idea what you're talking about, Todd. Johnny Cucks is 0 for 2 with an RBI and a strikeout. Struck him out. That's 6 for Abernathy. 1 out for Bauer. Hank 1 for 3. He has a double and a run scored and a strikeout. 10, 95 pitches. 6 1/3. 7 hits. A home run to Yogi. He has walked 1 and struck out 6 in his major league, or at least his 56 major league debut. Got him. 7 for Abernathy. All things considered, he hasn't pitched that bad. You're making a spot start because the real Washington starter would have gone on too short of a rest. So your nerves have got to be all jacked up. Leave that one alone, Todd. And you strike out Mickey Mantle, you get a hit, and you fan 7. Slaughter 1 for 3. The Sergeant has a double and a run scored. Abernathy deals, and Enos draws the walk. So 2 out for Mickey Mantle. Got Bart's attention now. Mickey 1 for 2 and a 17th double, a walk, and a strikeout. His 99th of the year. And he draws another walk. I'm surprised the computer batted Abernathy, but they did. 2 out for Yogi Berra. 1 for 3. Hit that 2-run shot in the first. He has scored twice. He now has 91 runs. Who knew those gals had so many hobbies? Uh-huh. And that they weren't allergic to staples. Pitch to Berra. Well, Courtney and Abernathy have a word. Yogi swings. That's a base hit right center field. Herzog can't get there. That's extra bases. Slaughter and Mantle score. And Yogi has a 4 RBI night with his 29th double of the year. And that'll do it for Abernathy, who has seen enough of Yogi Berra. Connie Grob, G-R-O-B, will come in to pitch. Connie making his 40th appearance. He is 4-2 with a 6.72 ERA. He is 24 years old, fastball at 85, and a fly ball plus pitcher. Connie last pitched on the 3rd, so 4 days ago, 2/3 of an inning and an 11-6 loss to Boston. 11 pitches, 2 hits, a run it was earned. Overall for Constance, 64 1/3, or Cornelius. That's what Connie would be short for, right? 104 hits, 48 runs, all earned. He's allowed 7 home runs. He has walked 16 and struck out 27. So Yogi stands on second, a 4 RBI day. Skowron has a double and 2 RBI. He's 1 for 3. And he draws the walk. So first and second in what looks increasingly like a Yankee win. Gil McDougald 1 for 3 with a K. There is a base hit left center field. Severs will pick it up. Yogi does not stop. He will score. And it's now 9-2 New York. Todd B. still thinks that these books need to be kept out of the sunlight or else they'd melt. Billy Martin 1 for 3. A double, an RBI, and a run scored. So Skowron on second, McDougald on first, as we gingerly go through another chat. Grob's pitch. Martin into center field. Back goes Herzog. Whitey will make the catch, and that will do. After 7, Yankees get 3 more on 2 hits, no errors. They lead the Washington Senators 9-2. So Runnels, Severs, and Courtney to face Cucks. Pete has had himself a day. He has singled 3 times and scored once. Up the middle, McDougald, a web jam. He robs Runnels of a 4th hit. Gil scooped it up, threw it into his throwing hand, and threw a bullet to Skowron to rob Runnels of a hit. So here's Severs. Roy 1 for 3. He's now driven in 99 runs. The 34 season today. Action PC is given away with a $5 purchase. Yeah, Todd, I did the ATR basketball game, Above the Rim. I did a video on that. Check it out. Set up a league. Loving it. Absolutely loving it. I wish you could roll your own dice, but I understand why you can't right now. It flows really, really well, Todd. What do you think? Pitch to Severs. Fly ball left field. Bauer is going back. Hank, he might run out of real estate here. No, he will not. Makes the catch, 2 out. For Clinton Courtney, who is a single, a double, and a walk. I'll tell you what. It was a pesky poll. Mr. Dobreski. I saw his post when I got up Friday morning at about 3 minutes after 6. George and Mary Ann had my money by 6:30. Okay? Courtney swings into right field. Slaughter going back to the wall. And Enos, who's had himself a day, makes the catch. So the Senators go down in order. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It'll be Carey, Wilsey, and Bauer to face Grob. 9-2 New York. Yeah, they probably will. I mean, all the seasons have been done for the Above the Rim. Hopefully, when they release the Pro version of it, or the data set for the Pro with whatever patch, that you'll be able to buy some in bulk. Pitch to Carey. Struck him out. Grob got him. Connie got him on a 2-2 looking. We'll let Cucks try for the complete game. Johnny 0 for 3. He has an RBI and a struck out twice. With their... Scotty! I haven't created any teams yet. Will their WNBA team be called Below the Rim? The Angel Reese version will be called Putback. Cucks gets hit. But yes, if you use Basketball Reference, you can make any team. This game is rigged. Has rigged all over it. You leave Diana out of this there, John. Hank Bauer, 1 for 4. A double and a run scored. Yes, because a 55 and 78 team, John, is going to give the Yankees a hard time again. The Yankees are only 12 and 7 against Washington. This is the last season of the series in Washington, where the Senators took the first 3 games of the season. The Yankees went 7 and 4. Bauer 1 for 4. Doubled and scored. Kux goes to second on the wild pitch. And Bauer draws the walk. So Grob is Washingtonian for Throne of the Wolves. Enos Slaughter 1 for 2. He's got a double. He has scored twice. He's walked once and has 2 outfield assists. That is true. You do not get Mrs. Peel references on a Fortnite stream. Mrs. Peel, we are wanted. Well, Bart, ATR has a pro version too. It's an Excel spreadsheet game. And I think they're working on it for the end of the year. But ATR will be both. There's needed. We are needed, Mrs. Peel. Pitch to Slaughter. There's a fly ball, center field. Herzog will make the catch. Kux will hold it second. Again, Daniel Levinson, Baseball Replay Journal on YouTube. Scott Yost, Cy Yost on YouTube, and a couple others did a tremendous job with the beta testing. For that to be so stable on a 1.0.0 release is just fantastic. Mickey Mantle, by the way, 1 for 2. A double, a run scored. He has walked twice and struck out once. Mantle rips this one between Killebrew and Runnels. Kux will score. Or attempt to. Lemon throws it back in. 10-2 the score, and Mantle has 120 RBI. So Bart will be happy. Yogi Berra, 2 for 4 today. He's driven in 4 with a home run. First and second, Courtney goes to Grob. Would you just get the last out, please? Yogi into right center. Herzog moving back. Well hit. Whitey makes the catch to retire the side. So the Yankees get another run on a hit. They've left on 6. No errors in this one. After 8, Yankees 10, Washington 2. Wow, Steve Onoveros of the 79 Cubs, who's a... No, that was Onoveros from the A's that was a pitcher. So Todd Adam Helmer from both sides of the plate. Hey, hey! So the Senators 8 to tie, 9 to go ahead. I think even the Yankee bullpen can hold this lead. Lemon 0 for 3, Plews and Killebrew to follow. Kux starts the 9th. Right field, Slaughter. 1 out. For Herbie. Herbie 1 for 3. Washington has 10 hits on the day, too. He has a single and an RBI. That is a base hit the opposite way. Bauer will pick it up. So Washington has touched up Kux for 11 hits, but just 2 runs. Here's Killebrew. Harmon is 0 for 3. He has struck out twice. Base hit left field. Bauer will grab it. First and second, 1 out. And you know Connie Grob isn't going to hit. If he did, he's 1 for 12 with a walk and 5 strikeouts. So Kux waits to see who's introduced. It will be Ernie Orovets. A switch hitter. And we're going to go with Sonny Dixon. I see Tom Morgan is back. Wow. So first, let's tell you about Oravets. He's hitting 276 as a pinch hitter with 4 RBI. Overall, 259 and 13 RBI, 4 triples. Dixon hasn't pitched yet. He's a September call-up, 32 years old, fastball at 85. 0-1 for the Yankees down the stretch, 3 games in a 2.08 ERA, and got a save. 4 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 5 walks and a strikeout. He does, however, have an 8-run cushion and needs just to get 2 outs. Oravets, a slow chopper. Dixon, first base side of the rubber, throws to Scour and 2 out. So Plews and Killebrew move up 90, but it's the last chance saloon, and Eddie Yost is 1 for 3 with a double and a run scored. Tomorrow, Cleveland and Chicago from Cleveland. There'll be 22 days left of the season after this. Yost draws the walk, and they're loaded. For Whitey Herzog, who was 1 for 4 with a single. I don't know what the Yankees do if they win the American League and the World Series. To paraphrase Grand Funk Railroad, they are some kind of horrible. Herzog to center field. That should do it. Here's Mickey. Yankees win. 10-2. 2 hours and 27 fake minutes for this one. The Yankees moved to 77 and 58 within a game of Detroit. 10 runs, 10 hits, no errors. They leave on 6. Washington falls to 55 and 79. 2 runs, 12 hits, no errors, and they left on 9. Computer gives Yogi the MVP. Slaughter had the 2 outfield assists, but Yogi drove in 4, so I agree. Johnny Cuck's a 17-game winner now. 17 and 9, 8 1/3, 12 hits, 2 runs, both earned. He walked 4 and struck out 2. 6 minutes for you. Okay, Jeremiah. Johnny had plus stuff. Dixon, 2/3 of an inning and a walk. Abernathy making the spot start because the computer didn't want to pitch who really started. Takes the loss, 6 2/3. This line is horrible. 8 innings, 9 hits, or 9 runs, all earned. A homer, he walked 3 and struck out 7. But Abernathy got his first ever base hit and struck out Mickey Mantle in the first inning. He'll remember it forever. Grob, an inning and a third, 2 hits, a run it was earned. He walked 2 and struck out 1. You are more than welcome. The rest of this Friday night in baseball for you. So the Yankees, Detroit's magic number stays at 20. Let's see here. We're just waiting for that Dodger game to finish up, and then we can kind of go through it from here. So the Dodgers sweep the Giants 2-1. Erskine, a 19-game winner, a 3-hitter, 1 walk. Johnny Antonelli, 15 and 11 now, and Clem Labine at 409 picks up his 27th save. In the nightcap, Don Newcomb beat Worthington 2-1. Duke is a 21-game winner. Ferrilla now has a 20-game hitting streak, and Junior Gilliam went 2 for 3. So 2-2-1 games, and they have a 94 and 41 record. Red Sox beat the Orioles 6-5 in Game 1. Mel Parnell 6-9, Forney Ellis 4-5. Dave Gardner hits his 13th. He goes 1 for 3. And drives in 2. In the nightcap, the Red Sox sweep 8-6. Frank Sullivan, a 20-game winner. How about that? Zuverink goes to 8-12, and Mickey Vernon with a V, 3 for 5, hits his 8th and drives home 2. Phillies beat the Pirates 4-3. Robin Roberts, 11-17. Bob doesn't have a friend again. He goes to 12-14. Stan Lapata, 2 for 3, drives in 2 and with a double. Cleveland beat Chicago. They are now both 72 and 60, 5-4. That's tomorrow's game. Don Mossy picks up the win. He goes to 7 and 3. Ellis Kinder goes to 2 and 1. Nellie Fox 1 for 3, a triple and 2 walks. Now, this is obviously wrong. The Cubs did not play a night game at Wrigley in 1956. Milwaukee beats them anyway, 7-2. Bob Buell, 13 and 8. Sam Jones, 8 and 10. Detroit keeps up that game and a half lead. They beat Kansas City 2-1. Billy Heft, 14 and 8. Cretlow falls to 6 and 10. Jim Bunning picks up his 4th save. St. Louis gets pounded. The Bengals beat the Cardinals 20-7. Cincinnati 18 hits. St. Louis had 16, but they committed 4 errors. Joe Nuxhall gets the win. He's 11 and 7. Vinegar Ben Mizell 9 and 14. Big Clue 5 for 5, 5 RBI and 2 doubles. So tomorrow's game, Billy Pierce and Herb Score, noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, between the White Sox and the Indians. And then Thursday's game moves up to the 12th, and because there really aren't any good American, well, at the moment, it's Brooklyn and Milwaukee. So there you have it. We'll cancel out of this. We'll show you some standings. Yep. Music to Scotty's ears and the world. All right. Well, we hope you enjoyed it. Yep. Detroit's magic number is 19. Brooklyn's is 9. Milwaukee can't do anything. It is amazing. We'll see you tomorrow for Chicago and Cleveland. Thank you so much for watching. We'll talk to you the next time. So long, everybody.